Okay, on the draw, this hand is pretty good. Looks like they could be on mono red. Could be something else, because they didn't play a 1-drop. Okay, it's a Rakdos. There is a deck that won a tournament somewhat recently. I don't think it's that deck. It's probably some form of Rakdos midrange. They either take the counter or the search. Really just depends what they have. They could take the Wrath if they have a bunch of creatures. They take the Path. Interesting. I will just play the search. So I assume this means that they have a creature that they want to play, that they don't care about getting wrathed. I don't know. Or they just want this bat to survive. Okay, I guess they take the Wrath now. Okay, so they aren't going to be able to resolve an actual threat. I don't want that. I could have kept that, but I'd rather find card draw or removal, or a trawler. But I'm not sure if they have interaction for this. They could be playing some sort of edict. I'm actually going to check if their deck has been played before. Are they playing Aristocrats? Their last played deck is Aristocrats, which plays 4 bats. That would be extremely strange for them to play nothing except bats until turn 4. It is Aristocrats. Okay. Interesting start. It blocks once, and it goes to the graveyard. Sure. I really just need a Wrath here. Or I can just slam the Trawler and win, because they aren't putting a clock down. And they can't resolve Judith. They maybe could resolve Bombardment, but it doesn't actually do that much here. Okay, Burst Lightning. I mean, it gained me 2 life. Maybe more, because they could have saved that for the Overload. I probably counter Dreadhorde Butcher. Okay, now I can only counter a Judith. And they aren't playing that. This could be a Bombardment. I could just play another champion and pass. So it could be a land. It could be a Burst Lightning. It's actually really good here. Wrath would be even better. Another Trawler that doesn't do anything. I will just play the Chase. They actually can't really do anything now. Unless they have a something in hand. I don't know what they could have. Judith, of course, would be good. I think they didn't know about the No More Lies, so they wouldn't have played the Judith. Dreadhorde Butcher, that does nothing unless they have a Judith. So if they don't have a Judith or Bombardment, they probably just die to Trawler, because I still get to +1. I do need to find a land off this search, so I only have 2 looks. If I don't, I might just -2. Land or Wrath here. That is neither. It's not bad. I could kill the bats. Or I could kill the champions, and my opponent can't do damage. They also can't play a Judith unless they have a land. I don't hate that. Yeah. I don't really see how I lose if I do this. I should have plussed first. In case my opponent has Incinerate or something. But they don't. They only have like Burst Lightning as a burn. And Pop in the side. Their list might be different, though, than the one Eternal Paradox played. It looks like it's the same as the later lists. Okay, that is a Bombardment. That still doesn't do much. They can kill the Jace, but they lose their board. They can't play anything else here. That is not a land. That's a land. I think I +1 and then play the Trawler. I don't really see how that loses to anything. So if they have Judith, they can deal 8 damage. But they can't get any attacks through because I have lifelink. It would also make Butcher worse to attack with it. Well, they actually could get attacks through, but yeah, so they would gain like 1 damage from that, so it'd be 9 damage if they attacked after playing a Judith. But they don't have the Judith. And I was kind of already aware of that. I don't want... I guess I probably should have taken that, because all I really care about is not dying while I'm attacking. I think I will just +1 right away. I could block with the bat. That would be fine. Well, I don't actually gain life, so that is actually really annoying. I don't think they can kill me, though. Even Judith isn't enough, I think. Even if they get their attacks, they definitely should have kept the whale, though. Because they are going to attack me back. Okay, they actually don't block, which means I get to just gain 1,000,000 life. I think I do hold up the Thassa's to counter something. I can make them pay 6 mana to keep their thing. And then they have 6 lands in play. They don't attack. I'm not sure why they didn't... Oh wait, they don't have Judith, yeah. I think they should have just blocked with this one and pinged me. It doesn't really matter now. It didn't have anything. They really needed a Judith to not die. Or maybe a Forsaken Miner. So now I get to flip the Azcanta. I will just continue upticking this Jace. Repeal is interesting. Now they can't jump block and ping. I still gain life. I can counter that on the way back down. I might just play a Trawler though. Okay, they just concede. Bring in the 4th Trawler. I don't think they have any answers to Trawler in the 75. It looks like they have Divest in the sideboard, they have Bat in the main. They have Choking Sands as land destruction. But they don't have any answer once it's on the board. I could bring in Approach as well, but unlike Mono Red, they actually have a lot of damage from the board. I have the 4th Trawler, so I don't really need any approaches. Arath is kind of questionable here. Inspector, it blocks the recursive creatures, it trades with them, except the miner. That's okay. I might end up sliding them out. Jace is really good against the board like that. But I guess most of their creatures only have a 1 or 2 power. So Jace is pretty good against them. Out of Air is bad, I think. Maybe not. It counters Judith, it counters everything except Bombardment, really. And Pop. So maybe it is bad. I'll slide out one of each of the card advantage things. I think I'll slide out the 2nd to search. I never slide out the 2nd dig, though. Because I do need some kind of card advantage. I could slide out the Thassa's. I think I will do that. I guess Inspector comes out. What does Drake actually block? It blocks Judith. It can't be pinged. But it doesn't actually block a whole lot. It blocks Judith, it blocks the zombie, Dreadhorde Butcher. That's really it though. Yeah, I actually don't like it. It stops the Burst Lightning from hitting me. That doesn't really matter. I don't know if they even keep that in. Path is kind of bad, I can't side it out though. Could be card advantage, but I don't really have any left to side out. Could be Deduce, I don't like that. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the Out of Air, I guess. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. It answers Bombardment. It answers some creatures. Okay. If I was on the play, I could counter a Bombardment now. Yeah, if I was on the play, this hand would just win against my opponent's hand. Pretty much regardless of what they have. This hand is so good on the play. But now they just get to resolve through Bombardment, and I have to kill it with one of these two. I'd probably just Deduce. I'm not sure what they play. If they play... I mean, if they do nothing for Miner, I obviously just Deduce. They play a Wander. I don't think I care. I'd probably counter a 2nd one. Yeah, I would counter a 2nd one. But, I mean, maybe I should have just countered that. They don't really have anything relevant they could play after it. I mean, they could play a land Dreadhorde Butcher. That would be bad. I think I use Heliod's. D-Sphere doesn't die to any removal, but it is good at hitting creatures, better than Heliod's is at gaining life. Like, I'd rather have the answer for creatures than the life gain, I think. I meant to use that. Yeah, I meant to actually use that Heliod's. But okay, I guess I'll wait. I probably hit it during combat now. Okay. So they don't get to use this because they would lose damage. I really want to draw a Wrath right now. So I could go Repeal, hold up No More Lies. I think I probably do that if I don't draw a Wrath. I actually like casting D-Sphere now. They could just have another bombardment or something. I don't know if they mold. They probably would have put it on the bottom if they did. Any second bombardment. They kept to 7, so they definitely could have bombardment. I don't really care. I'm not gonna play around that. Okay, they reveal a land. I do want to answer this Bob immediately. They have the bombardment. Yeah, I can't really do anything about that. Actually a Wrath would be really good here. They would kind of just lose to a Wrath, because then I could repeal bombardment. I am just dead. I have to answer all 3 creatures, and repeal doesn't count. I mean, there's no way I survive this. I would need a Wrath, and even if I had a Wrath, any creature would just be lethal. Or a Pop, or a Burst Lightning. I'll just run it back. I was kind of sideboarding for the on-the-play game anyway. I don't know if they're actually different in terms of how I should sideboard. Okay, good hand. Doesn't have an answer to bombardment. And again, it's kind of bad into Pop. Okay, that's not a Forsaken Miner. Okay, now it does have an answer to bombardment. So either deduce or counter bombardment, or counter a... Well, I wouldn't counter it. Oh, I should have played the Mystic Gate so I can condemn a Butcher and the Wanderer. Yeah, that was a terrible play. Yeah. I will condemn this anyway. Now I'm gonna go hold up, condemn, hold up, counterspell, and deduce. Alright, condemn and then hold up the other thing. Definitely should have just condemned this already. And then I could use absorb, which I probably wouldn't want to use because No More Lies is going to be dead if they keep hitting land drops. They have a bat. I guess I counter that. I don't have an answer to it. I don't have a Wrath right now. So they don't have a board, and we're entering the mid-game, which means I am at an advantage. but I do have a problem into bombardment, kind of. I have to absorb and then I can't play deduce, and then I'm kind of out of cards if I can't deduce. And even if I can, I only have one non-land potentially. That looks like a bombardment. It's a bob. I don't counter that. Okay. I maybe shouldn't have done that, because now they can play a bombardment. They kind of expect a no more lies, maybe. They just slam it. That's annoying. Now Wrath is bad. Okay, that's good. Now I find the no more lies. Okay. So I go hold up absorb and no more lies. Cast Wrath next turn, maybe. So if they can't assemble the Forsaken Miner combo, they can ping me with Vran if they hit themselves. Okay, I'm just gonna Wrath this. I could counter anything else they play. So this is... They actually don't get their free damage, which means they are holding up Hop, I think? Or they just didn't realize they could get free damage. They didn't think of pinging themselves. I don't know. I am just going to play Wrath here. I'm going to go to 10, and they have no board. And they can return the Wanderer. Hopefully I'll find a land for Trawler. Trawler was a good draw, but I do need a land. That didn't do anything. So I am kind of dead to pop. I'm not actually dead. Because I don't have the reach with Bombardment. So they actually have to attack with creatures. I don't know why they're sacking their board. Okay, they have 2/2/1s. I do just win by drawing a land, I think. Unless I have double pop or something. But it's really hard for me to lose if I draw land here. Okay, well now I'm a little weaker to pop. But I do just win if I get to untap, I think. If they play a bat, they actually do stop the life gain. I think that's their only flyer. Looks like they're attacking. So they do actually get two. Okay, I'm actually dead to a single pop, which is annoying. Okay, I need to select this one. I am just dead to pop, which probably was off the top, if they have it. They had a mana in response to the Wrath that they held up. I assume they would have played pop. They could have done 6 damage with that. Okay. I mean, they have pop or I win. Or they have bat plus something. But bat would just lose because I have absorb. They have the pop. No, it's a bob. Okay, so I do just win, I think. The land. They returned the Dread Wanderer. So they actually have 6 damage on board, which is as much as I gain from attacking. But they can't actually gain more because I just counter whatever else they play. So it's kind of like... I stay at the same life, but they're going down. They're gonna die in 4 or 5 turns. They do actually do 1 more damage than I gain, but I can draw a card draw. I should just have this, because I counter anything they play. And I draw 2 cards a turn, so I can draw into card draw, I can draw into removal. Minor, okay, that's... How do they target me? Okay, they can target the trawler. I do have to double normalize that. That's unfortunate. Well, do I? So... Okay, now they can't play minor. Or they just die to 1 normalize, which they might actually do. Okay, so... They made a sequencing error. I could have absorbed it because they still can't go face with that, but they can hit Trawler 5 times if they draw Black Source. And then that taps me down. Which I kind of was afraid of. I'm not sure. And they also had other creatures to tap it down with. So I think I did have to double normalize. Oh, and they also could have done that. So they really should have forced me to play the second normalize. Which they might get punished for, or maybe I won't need to counter a second thing. Okay, if I could draw card draw, that would be great. Did they pay life? Oh, they lost it to Bob. So this is just a 2-turn clock, I think. Either I draw Deduce, I draw 2 farmlands, or they take 2 from Bob. There's 3. I have to absorb the first thing. If they have a second thing, I can normalize that. They do not. So I just get to counter this, condemn the Bob. Bob is the only thing I can condemn that does more than gain 2 life. They just concede. Okay, that's 2-1. Beat Aristocrats. I've never lost to Aristocrats yet. That was probably the closest match I've had. Even before I had Rune Tailor, I was beating Aristocrats. Because they really can't beat Trawler. They definitely can do something into it. They can't just kill you after you play it. They can play Bat, sack it to Bombardment. They can tap it down with Minor. They can tap it down with other creatures while attacking. But my plan is to keep them on as low resources as possible and then just slam a Trawler. Good hand. Deduce is exactly what I want in the starting hand. Dig is good here. They play an Inspector. I will just play Deduce. Okay, there's an answer to Walkers. Maybe I just have to draw go harder if I want to beat Walkers. Play more counterspells, maybe. But I do have to tap out for Wrath. And I don't think there's really a solution to that. I could play more single target removal instead of Wraths. I don't really think that's an option, though. I think I just play the Inspector because I'm going to Whale here. I'm not going to play the Absorb. I guess I could Timeless Dragon as well. I could Deduce. I would Timeless Dragon because I don't have a land drop. Okay. sack the Clue because they don't have a land drop, and if they draw a land, they want to draw it, I guess. I don't know why else. I guess they want to see if they want it. They could draw one drop, so they never want it that turn. So I guess it does make sense to draw first. This is annoying. They do just run out the walker a lot, so I am afraid of that. Hopefully they won't just do that this game. Or they'll miss the land drop. That would also be cool. It kinda looks like they did miss the land drop. I guess that's why they sacked before Bunicorn. But they would have activated the Clue if they didn't have a land drop, right? Okay. Deduce is better because it feels dig and search. I do need some kind of answer for this fairly quickly. I do have Wrath. I will need to get to turn 7 for that, I think. And we'll just draw both Clue tokens, most likely. Unless they play exactly a walker. I play a Kaya. I think I path the Inspector right now. So now I have 6 mana. I could have 7. I can't hold up a counter unless I draw one, though. It's weird that they played it out into 4 mana unless they have another one. So I don't really want to tap out. I would hold up. I would represent a No More Lies, regardless. But I would have played it there if I had it. It's super obvious that I would have played it, because I would have been able to activate the Clue and save the Absorb when No More Lies is about to die. So I think I just played a Deuce. I will cast Dig, and then I can't Wrath. Or, yeah, if I have 7 mana, they need to miss the land drop here and next turn not have an untapped land drop for me to be able to Thassa's. Or they need to run it out right now. Which they might do. They just put Yorion in hand. I take Condemn and Mystic Gate. Okay. I guess I will just do nothing. So I need them to play creatures out. If they do anything, it's play Yorion and bounce it back, right? Spellbinder. So now I can't counter. I will just let this resolve. There's nothing I can do about it. I could try to draw in response, but I can just do that anyway. Find 3 cards. Maybe 2 if I condemn. I'm not going to, though. I mean, they almost certainly have a walker. I don't see why else they would have played that Kaya. And now they know. I mean, they can't resolve it if I do nothing, but I can't do nothing. I'm just gonna die to this board. I don't know what I'm looking for. Nothing really. Oath. Probably should have countered that with Thassa's instead of using the clues. This is fine, I think. So I actually can hold up out of air if I draw land, which I don't. So now I just fumigate. It's fine. I still can counter Yorion, which they aren't going to play here. Unless they play something else first. I don't know what that would be. I kind of expect them to play a Kaya, which they know I can't counter now. Or a Sorin. Hopefully a Sorin. That might be even worse for me, though. Wow, they actually play the Yorion. Do I counter this? I don't really want to. It's 3 damage, but it just dies to removal. And I don't want to tap out for Wrath. I also want to look for land drops. I'm just gonna let that resolve. I don't really care about the burn damage. Another Wrath. No land. I think I activate this clue. I'll just path that, I guess. I could just discard a Wrath. This is really annoying. I really did not want to draw these. I do have counter magic now, so if I untap, I kind of just counter everything relevant and Wrath everything else, but I don't have the mana to Wrath and Out of Air in the same turn. And even if I do, I can only play 1 Out of Air. There's a Sorin. They need to not have Kaya. I'm not sure why they didn't run this out last turn. They knew I couldn't counter it because they had 3 mana, and I can't. I had 2 mana, and they had 3 up. Okay, so now I'm dead to Nurturing Pixie or Yorion if I don't counter it. I'm gonna do another Shambling Vent attack if I take it. Not drawing lands is so annoying here. I don't need more removal. Yeah, I really don't want to have to counter that, but I do. I can counter anything else they play and condemn the vent. So that's good. Unless they just play that. Okay, now I'm just dead. Wow. I mean, I would have been able to condemn that if I had another land last turn. Yeah, I think I would have just won if I had, like, 1 more land drop. Instead of a Wrath or something. I guess it would have to be instead of a Wrath. No, it would work instead of a, Out of Air or Normalize, I think. Maybe not Normalize. Or, not Out of Air, it'd have to be Normalize. So I side out the creatures, I side in the approaches. Novice Inspector is kind of good here. Path is not, though. I guess I'll just do this. This is kind of bad into walkers. They have a lot of hand hate, no extractions or nevermores. Okay, this is a good hand. It cannot counter a walker. But I have my own. This is pretty bad if it goes unanswered. Like, it doesn't actually do that much. Unlike Soren and Kaya. So they can just ignore it. It is card advantage, but it's not even that much. It's like -2, 2 or 3 times. He plays Archromancy, I play nothing. If they have a Pixie, that's really bad, because I have nothing for it. They have 6 power. Monocorn, that's similarly bad. I'd love to draw Wrath. If I draw nothing, I will Jace -2. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this aggressive of a start. Now I'm kind of just dead if I don't draw really well. And that is not happening. I might just be dead this turn. If I'm not, then they put me to like 4 or 5 or 3. And I condemn. And if I condemn twice, I can win. I am just dead here. So they know I can't Wrath this, even if I draw it. This is also just 1-off lethal. Well, I go to 3 because they want to attack Jace. So basically I would need to top deck Terminus here. Or have Hallowed Burial, or whatever it's called in my deck. Yeah, these recent changes, I mean, this is the same as before, but yeah, they are too good as an aggro deck while also being a deck like a walker deck. And that's just really hard for me to beat. Okay, last time they played was a tournament with Rakdos Control midrange. Rakdos removal that hardcasts 5 and 6 drops. Or just 6 and 7 drops. Okay. This shouldn't be an issue. I do kind of have an issue with a lot of must counters, which this deck does play. I have no idea how this won a tournament. It's just Rakdos removal, and then at some point you just play Grave Titans and Italis. Okay, they're quite a... okay, and Breach the Multiverse, the Liliana, Death's Majesty. So there are 6 must counters in those 2 cards. Itali is not really a must counter because if they hit a creature, I can just Wrath. Grave Titan also ties to Wrath. But I guess Breach the Multiverse also isn't really a threat. Liliana is a threat, I guess. Not necessarily. It makes 2/2s and reanimates things. So all of their win cons die to removal. And I don't need to hold up counter magic early, I just need to draw until turn 5. Or when they get to 5 mana. Which is never earlier than turn 5, I think. They have Big Score. They have Solemn Simulacrum. And they are playing this deck, I think. They did not get a duel, which means they have a black land already. I'll play the Deduce. What does Trawler do? They have Burn Down the House, which kills Trawler for 5 mana. They could multiple Sweltering Suns. They could play creatures that I need to Wrath. I'm not really sure how I lose this game, though. It looks like in the sideboard, they have Lost Legacy. Vexing Shusher. Some Thoughtseizes. Oh, I should have pathed. They do have instant speed removal though, so it's fine that I didn't. A cyclist faltering. I will just path this. For an island. I can play Trawler next turn. I will not because they have burned down the house in their deck. I could counter that. I am not going to. I will probably just play the Jace. Yeah, why would I do anything else? I do have to +1 every turn, pretty much. That does say that I don't have... that was not the right play. Okay, I just lost 2 loyalty for no reason. I did not mean to have 6. So Jace is going to not have loyalty to -2. That is annoying. I don't currently have an answer to... I don't have Wraths for Grave Titan, so I do have to counter that. I don't have to counter that. It does make Normalize worse. I think that's fine. They're not going to get to 10 mana before they start playing 7 drops, I think. So I play Novice. I pass. So they can't play a 5-drop with 3 mana up. So there's nothing they can get through my counters. I don't think they're playing any Thoughtseizes in the main. They're not. I mean, it's possible that they changed their list. Okay, so Jace is gonna stay at the same loyalty until they do something, or I do something. Which should be 4 loyalty. Coalition Relic. That's bad for my Normalize. Hopefully they'll play land and a thing I can counter. I don't play land, so that's good for my Normalize. I could have played Dig. Maybe I should have. What is this? Big score? Yeah, Normalize is terrible now. I could play Trawler because Burn Down the House would now kill Simulacrum, which they don't really care about. So if I play Trawler, they play Burn Down the House, Jace is not being attacked. No, I think I wait. I will Horned Lockwell a Simulacrum, I think. Then I can play the Will. And block. So right now, they have 9 mana. I can counter an Itali or Breach of the Multiverse. I cannot counter Liliana. I cannot counter Grave Titan. Unless I dig for a counter. Which would have to be a... I mean, it could be any counter. They play Lily. I will out of air it. I really like Search for Visconta here. It's kind of questionable in this spot. It's really good in the matchup though. So I really don't have a counter spell up. Maybe I play Troller so my opponent can't just play a thing I need to counter. Because they have to be playing Burn Down the House. I kind of like that, but I can't play a Troller and Search and do that. Maybe. Because I still could play Lily plus Burn Down the House if I don't have No More Lies up. They have 11 mana, I think. They have 9 mana plus 1 from Relic plus potentially 1 from hand. I'll just play the Search and pass. Try to draw into a counter. Or just hope they don't have anything, which is not likely. I mean, I guess I hope that their thing is a Grave Titan. Volca Awakening. I guess their hand is nothing. But it's about to be something. I wonder if they played that before. They did not, so their list is not the same. They added Volca Awakening. I do think that card is really good. So they put back 3 cards, drew 4. Which means they probably have something now. Maybe not. But it means that they only had one thing that they wanted. Which is probably a big creature or something. Or a Lily or Breach the Multiverse. Could be Burn Down the House. Which they're saving to use as a Wrath. I will Lagoon Breach. They probably top it. Because it is a cantrip, kind of. And they get their ETB back. I have double No More Lies now, which should counter things that are expensive. I don't think it even does, though. They have 11 mana, plus a land drop, I think. That's good. They actually can play a Trawler here, but I would rather not. I'll just play the Whale, I think. Yeah, I'll just play the Whale on their end step. They did top the Simulacrum. Okay. I think that means they aren't playing a big thing, because they would have tried to play around No More Lies if they were. They have 7 mana. And they have not played a land drop. So, Land Lily would get around No More Lies. But they could have gotten around 2. But yeah, as I expected, they have nothing. Okay, my dogs are barking again, which can probably be heard on the stream. I will not take the condemn. That is a good answer to the simulacrums, but they aren't going to be attacking. So they do jump block, they probably will do that again next turn. Again, I could play the Trawler. I only have... Well, I have Absorb plus No More Lies to deal with removal. Or not removal. Wraths. And creatures that I would have to Wrath otherwise. I could counter this. I would rather not. It doesn't do anything. But, like, they could just have another one, and it's dead if I don't counter it. Tapping down Trawler isn't really live. Play Lily. I do have to counter that. I will use the more expensive one. And I don't necessarily have to counter that. But they would return... I mean, they currently don't have a very good thing to return. But I really can't just let that live. I could just make 1/1s every... or 2/2s every turn. And if I try to play a creature to attack it, it just wraths. So I can't just play Trawler and attack it at some point. And if I, like, reanimate big creatures that are must counters or must wraths, then I would have to wrath my Trawler away. No. I really want to flip this as Kanta right now. So I should just be able to lock my opponent out of the game. In fact, I might attempt to do that right now. No, I have Azcanta. I'll wait. I have 12, or I have 13 mana. So I would have had 7 mana. I would have had Absorb and both No More Lies up. Which was... I mean, if my opponent played 2 Burn Down the House, then they would have... So they have 14 mana if they play a land. Which means they would not be able to resolve 2 Burning Down the Houses. Right now they could, because I absorbed the first one, normalized the second. So they actually could resolve both, they just need 13 mana. So I'm gonna need... I will just activate this, see if I find something... Deduce or Wrath? I'm gonna take Wrath and let this resolve, I think. This could be bad, I don't know. So we find Coalition Relic, Detention Sphere. That is actually the best card in my deck for them. That's actually the best thing they could have found. Because Trawler just dies to Wrath. Which I'm already gonna use. And there's really nothing else that does anything. They could have found Dig Through Time, but that's not an answer to Jace. So yeah, that's actually just the best card they could have found. They can't attack here. Not that it matters. They realize that I have the Jace active. Timeless. I will just look for single target removal, because I would rather not have to Wrath this. So if this flips, it is not quite lethal. And also I have Condemn in my deck. And Path. So they probably just don't do that. Maybe. I guess I will just Wrath though. I only have one counter up. Yeah, it's so annoying that they hit my best card in the deck of their Itali, which is also a one-off. Repeal is actually a great answer to that. I get Jace back and D-Sphere in hand. I believe it's still in my deck. So I have 13 mana. So I have Absorb and Out of Air up. So I have Absorb and Double No More Lies up. Which does not stop burning down the house. I have 13 mana. 16 if they activate these and play a land. 16 is exactly enough. So they would have to play land, which could be this turn or the next turn. Oh, that's so annoying. I really wish I could counter this with Double No More Lies. Because now I just can't stop double burning down the house. I cycle farmland, I think. I do kind of want land drops here. I'll just find one here anyway. Or not. Okay, so I could play as Kanta. It doesn't really matter that I held up No More Lies, so I'll just play it. Oh, actually, I can't absorb plus activate as Kanta. I don't need to answer any creatures, though. Because I have Path. So Grave Titan makes 2/2/2s. Itali, I don't need to answer. Like, the only threat is it hits Lily or Breach the Multiverse, which might not even be in their deck. But they're gonna play it right now. No, they're gonna play Tali. I will not counter that. Because they could just play a Breach if they had it, and that would be pretty game-ending, I think. They hit Repeal. That's not good. I wanted that Repeal. Oh, and they also get to hit Timeless. And draw a card. That was the wrong order. I could Path. That would not be a good play, though. I really wanted that Repeal. It's actually, again, one of the best cards in my deck that they could have gotten. Probably not quite as good as Trawler this time. Okay, so it is just going to die to Path. Which I will wait to do because I want them to try to flip it. I'll take that, I guess. I don't know. I guess maybe I should have taken a Deuce. Could activate Iskanja and then flip. Okay. So I will absorb one thing and let the other thing resolve. I actually don't have any hard counters left. So this is my last one, outside of Thassa's, which is not a hard counter right now. That is a sorcery, so they aren't going to flip it. I will adjust path right now. I could just ignore it because right now it looks like they're just going to play another Etali. Or something else. They've already played like 3 of these. I don't know if they have the full playset. Last time they didn't. They could now though. If they decided it was better than Breach. They did not decide it was better than Breach. I think I do have to absorb this. If they milled 10 cards and then put 2 Italis in play, they would kind of just deck me out. Or 1 Itali. It would force me to Wrath, and they would get rid of at least 11 cards in my deck and put me at 6 on my next turn. They actually don't have enough. Okay, so if they played another Breach or Nitali, I would have been able to counter it with 1 Normalize. That is not a Breach or Nitali. So if I didn't Path, I would have been able to counter that. That's annoying. Or I could have just activated Azcanta. Which I probably should have done on my upkeep, and then flipped that. That doesn't really do it here. I don't think I want to play another Trawler, because I can't counter a Burn Down the House. And I actually can counter whatever here, with the Thassa's. I still have a Trawler in the deck. Normalize does allow me to Thassa's for not as much as they have mana. Okay, so they're going to deal 10 here and 14 next damage. Next turn. So I get only 2 attacks, I think. So they put me to 4, and then they deal 18. So I need to gain 14 in 2 turns, which means they would be dead. I might have counted that wrong. They also could just put another Grave Titan in play, and so they have 24 damage. I need to either draw 7 cards. Wait. No, I need to draw 2 cards. A Path, a Condemn. Condemn is bad here. I could just play the Trawler and block a zombie. Or I could just deduce twice to go to 27 and survive this attack. I really like Thassa's as a counter. Okay, so I can condemn a 2/2. I don't want to use the mana to activate Search. I could have kept that, I don't think I do. Because I do just draw land anyway. I still have Colonnade in the deck if I want to win next turn without using card draw, maybe while using a Condemn. How many Deduces are in the deck? 2 in Exile, 2 Deduces in the deck. I think I put 1 on the bottom at some point with Azcanta. Which might have been the last one. The most recent activation, I mean. So they have not played a Burning Down the House yet. I also just have lethal. I have both the deuces, which means I could just get lethal with through 9 damage. So So I am dead to a breach if they resolve it. I can't do anything about that. So they have at least 3 copies of this in their deck. I think that's actually a pretty good idea. I think every slower red deck should be playing this. It's just so good when you're flooded. Or like when you have cards in hand, but they're bad, mostly. It's less of a card when you're flooded. And more when you actually have a hand, but it's bad. Because if you have no cards in hand, it's just a cantrip. It's just a cycling land that costs 3 mana to cycle. Okay, so this is 24 damage. Which means that I need to counter... Wait, can they deal damage at instant speed? It doesn't look like it. They have Burn Down the House, which kind of can. With a removal spell. I am just going to condemn a zombie. And say that I will have lethal next turn, which might be true. Okay, so I need 2 Thassa's. Well, they can just not pay regardless, and then play another thing, and get through double No More Lies, I think. It depends on the card. I could also Fumigate to a lot of life, and play another Trawler. I actually, Shoot the Sheriff is actually really bad. I could just play a Fumigate and another Trawler, though. They're just going to time out, I think, if I win the next game. Okay, so... They have 9 mana. So if they do this, they have 3 mana, and they just lose to No More Lies if I draw double Deduce. So now they can't shoot the Sheriff. They actually should maybe just not pay for this and shoot the Sheriff on upkeep to make me pay on upkeep. It doesn't matter that much. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I still have 2 Deduces in the deck, which means I just need to draw them off as Kanta. Okay, so I have 11 cards in the first 4. I mean, I can just look at my deck. I can just look at my deck and see if I have card draw in there. Okay. Wait, where's the other Deduce? There is 1 Deduce. Oh, I didn't see the Deduce in graveyard. I actually only have 1 Deduce left. Wait, do I have a farmland on? Wait. Hold on. I think this wins. No, what? Okay, what did I have in the Iskanta? I thought it was a farmland. Do I actually only have 3 cards? So I can Deduce and farmland right now. So I can do it with these 2. And I don't think I have anything after that. So I guess I just Fumigate after attacking. And then kill them with Colonnade? Okay, that does seem pretty hard to lose with. No. I need Colonnade and Deduce. I put Island on bottom, Mystic Gate, No More Lies, Wrath, Farmland. So I'm drawing Farmland, then Wrath, after the first 2. Okay. Okay, I do need to be wary of time. So if there is somehow card draw on top of my deck, then I can just draw the farmland. Is there a reason to do more damage? I don't think there is. So I will just fumigate and play a trawler. The only counterspell left in my deck is No More Lies. Okay, I mean, I'm just dead to Breach, basically. I have to have Breach or they lose. Which is not unlikely. So I did spend a lot of time on that, and I am going to need to play quickly. I will probably restart Magic Online. Okay. They've already played exactly one Breach. They played two. Okay, so then they have like one in the deck. Did they draw it? No. Okay, wait, They could have Shoot the Sheriff. They could have a Flying Creature. Flying Creature would not work. I have a Wrath. Second from the top, third from the top, something like that. Okay, so they only have 4 mana. I think they're just dead. Because I can now draw into No More Lies to counter Shoot the Sheriff. Oh no, they can pay for it. No? What is this? Lily? They just lose. They play Tali. What does that give them? They Tali into... Wait, what do they hit? It's Wrath, I think. Or is it No More Lies? I think it's Irrigated Farmland on top. Okay, so Exile. Oh, there's 3 lands into No More Lies. And they hit Sweltering? Okay, so they are just dead, but I'm about to deck out. Trawler actually won't get there in time. But this doesn't have reach. They are just dead. I have Wrath on top. So they are just dead. Okay. So, next game. I just need to play faster, so I will... I will restart Magic Online, and then side in... I will side in all my removal, and just not play win cons. So I just remove everything, and bleed their clock, basically. I don't know how I change what's shown on screen. Side of the Trawlers. Side encounters Sarah Landrake. I have Lost Legacy. Heliod's. I mean, I might just play Approach. I want to hide it so they don't know they can Lost Legacy it maybe. Yeah, I think I am just going to go for the clock strategy. What do I side out? So, I'm siding on a search for Azcanta, and a dig through time. Not a, whatever. Heliod's I'll play as a one of. I'll keep all the counters in. Actually, no more lies is kind of bad. But they have to be quick. Yeah, it's kind of bad. How do I get rid of... Delete. Okay. Okay, so here's my deck. It's all removal, no approaches, because I don't need to win this game. I just need to win the match. Good hand, maybe. Okay, so the worst kind of hand to keep is one that gets mana screwed. That's really the only hand I don't want to keep. And I kept a hand that can get mana screwed. I don't know why I did that. It is pretty good at interacting if I draw a Mystic Gate and some more lands. Oh, I need to play that. Maybe I could have just played Deduce first. Okay, so I hold up Forbid plus Deduce, or actually Normalize. Normalize that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Next turn I double Deduce or Forbid. Okay, so I'm out of lands. I mean, I kind of started out of lands and drew lands. I'll draw lands again. I do need a white source. They play nothing. Okay. Good. I am very slightly down on time, but I have been getting time pretty quickly this game. Okay, I cannot play that out. So I will just discard a Heliod's. Glacial Fortress, really good draw. I should have played the Center Lane Drake. It's fine. I'm actually playing a little slower right now because I was discarding. I don't need multiple counters. Okay. I should have maybe pathed that. I'll do that right now. I should have done that before, but... Or actually, I should have done it on upkeep. So they can't get the land untapped. They can resolve a 5-drop. Not a 6-drop. Oh, they can resolve a 6-drop. I am just going to play Wrath. Which means I get to hold up out of Bear. If I draw land, I can hold up Forbid. Okay, I get Forbid up. And I am up on time by like 10 seconds now. Breach, I do need to counter that. I will buy that back. Getting rid of the Rune Talos. Getting rid of the Rune Talos. Okay. So now I just do nothing, I think. I'll play that. Why not? Because Forbid. That's a good reason not to, but I will not activate the Vantress. My entire goal this game is to time them out, not win. That's fine. I probably should have countered that, but whatever. Tapping mana takes time. So I'll just counter the things they find off it. Okay, interactive spell. I mean, that's every card in my deck. That's it. That's not card draw or a land. So they can resolve a breach, and I don't have a Wrath, so I could be dead soon. Except I have 2 removal spells, so it's not going to be lethal anytime soon. I also don't have any creatures in the deck outside of Whale and Timeless and Cerulean Drake, I think. I can't counter that, they have 2 mana. If I had 3 counters, I could have. They have Oliphant. I will Desphere the Oliphant, condemn the Etali, I think. What do I actually hit? I could be Vexing Shusher. I think I will just hit the Oliphant. Okay, so I'm gonna bring them to about 4.5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. I don't even need to try to win next game. I can just do the same thing again. So I'm like really far ahead on clock now, almost a minute ahead. I do actually attempt to counter whatever they play. It costs them more time because it's a hybrid cost, kind of. If they activate it first, it doesn't really matter. They're going to think. That's good for me. This card does take time to use, not really, but they return Grave Titan. It does not win immediately. They don't have Etali. Etali would take more time to use. If I draw a Wrath, they are just gonna time out. Really, like, they're gonna have like 3 minutes left on clock if I draw a Wrath here. I'll look for a Wrath. I will just play the Forbid on whatever they play, which might be nothing. So I'm gonna play Jace. I am still dead, so they have 5. So they have 10 damage through this, which is enough to kill. So I have to -2. They actually have 11 damage, so I have to -2. Which does take time away from them. And I find the Wrath. So they're going to be at like less than 3 minutes at the end of this game. And I get to F6 twice. My time actually doesn't matter now. Like, I don't need to play quickly at all to time them out. I really just need to bleed their clock. It's not about my clock. So this is 5... This is exactly 8 damage if I attack with everything. So if I find any kind of way to stop damage, then I don't have to -2. That's a very good draw. It's about their clock, not mine. So I can do this. Wait, I didn't +1. It doesn't work. Okay, so I am just dead here. Okay, so they're at like 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I will probably side in an approach. Maybe. Okay, let's think about this. I want No More Lies, I think. I want Search. Heliod's is bad. Gaining life doesn't really stall that much. Because if they're killing me, they have a lot of power in play. I think Trawler is bad. Maybe I don't play Approach. Yeah. What do I play here? Dig is probably good. Okay, what do I get rid of? Wrath? I don't think getting rid of Wrath is a good idea right now. I have single target removal. Okay, Rune Taillow is actually kind of terrible. I'll play a Trawler. Okay. So, I just need to time them out. They only have like 3 minutes left. This hand is questionable. It stops them from doing things, I guess. It doesn't get mana screwed, which is the main fear. Like, for them to kill quickly, the main problem is getting mana screwed. Like, if you don't get mana screwed, they just can't kill you quickly. Your deck just needs to function. Okay, counter spells are good. Collision Relic, I won't counter that. Maybe I should, though. Okay, more counters. So, it actually doesn't take them that long to win games. It's kind of a wonder they got this low end clock at all. So they can play a big thing. They shouldn't, though. They're not that pressured on time that they just have to be jamming big things randomly. But I guess they're going to. Like, I think they can wait until they get to, like, 10 mana. Or, like, 8 mana for that. Okay, I would love some form of card draw. Deduce, take their time. Search would be okay. Not really. It's kind of slow. It's late in the game. So, that's really annoying. That's really bad. So they can't resolve anything right now, but they can next turn, probably. They get rid of that. Vexing Cheshire does nothing. I guess I'll let that go. Trawler would be decent. Because it kind of forces them to actually do something. Okay, that's a great draw. Grave Titan, so 3 2/2s is a fast enough clock to kill me with. I will... Do I have to answer that? Yes, I think I do. Okay, so I don't actually need to play quickly. I do need to actually think about plays, though there isn't much to think about here. I would love a dig through time. There isn't much to think about, so... I mean, there's no reason to play quickly, though, because I'm never going to time out before my opponent. I have, like, double their clock. What are they thinking about? Volga. Okay, so now they can't play a thing this turn. They did not put back everything. They only put back one thing. Which means it is a breach or something, I think. Okay, so if it's... They have 9 mana if they don't play land. Which means if they play a breach, they can use the Shusher in response to the path and when I play the counterspell. Which means I might need to upkeep path. I will actually not upkeep path anymore. Which is a little strange. So if they play a land, they might be able to resolve a breach. Etali. So if I path... I don't actually need to answer this. I can just remove. I actually will just path this. That is not what I meant to use. I meant to use No More Lies. It doesn't matter, though. I will not use the Condemn. I feel like that was a terrible play because I could just answer the Etali with removal as well as the Shusher. I should have just pathed on upkeep. That's what I should have done. They didn't even have 10 mana. So I would have just been able to play No More Lies and hold up Absorb. They are going to need to beat me in a little over half a minute with a 2-2 against 2 Condemns. So if they breach for Trawler, that could be pretty fast. They have a Titan. So they're going to be able to put a lot of 2-2s in play. 4 2/2s to be exact. Okay, that's something. I would have rather drawn that earlier, draw dig. This is pretty close. I probably should have just tried to win game 2. I don't know. Do I path something else? This is 6 damage. They have more than 8 next turn. I do need to condemn now, I think. They could play something else and then just attack for lethal next turn. They have something. I need to answer something. I'm actually gonna lose if I draw nothing. Wrath, please. Add 6 looks. Thank you. Fumigate actually would have just lost me the game there. Okay, so now they need to play something in attack next turn and have me not draw an answer. Okay, they're just dead. That was closer than it needed to be. Okay, I'm 2-1 now. I actually forgot. I need to change to this window. Okay. There's a land, good. And I will do nothing. This Azcanta is not looking great. It does kind of look like they could be missing a land drop. Or they just want to make it look like that. Okay. Get rid of path. I can never path their things. That is not great. If I cast a counter spell... Okay, I really want to counter something, so I can flip this Azcanta right now. I don't care about this clock at the moment. I will counter that. Could have used the other counter spell. Do they have any spells that I care about? I'm not sure if they do. I don't think they play walkers. I do need to graveyard that, but I would like a land drop. That is not a land. That is something I will play. I can play dig now. Maybe I should just right now. I should have played it instead of the search, probably. There's really no reason not to find a land with it. Okay. They have hit a land drop every turn so far. Nurturing Pixie. I will counter that. No, I'd rather just find a Wrath, I think. They do get to find their land drop. They actually don't, so they have a land already, that means. Unless they actually don't. That would be very surprising. That is... I did not mean to do that. That is annoying. Yep, I meant to take a card for free. Does it matter if it's tapped? It also doesn't really matter when it is, though.
That's not, oh no. I keep misclicking. I meant to take planes plus novice inspector so I could block something. Because that actually stops 2 damage a turn. Okay, I'm just making so many misplays. I need to find a Wrath off this is Kanta. I really just need to slam this Trawler at some point and not have it die. They're just going to be able to Emeria. They don't have any creatures in the yard, but they're going to be. Or I'm gonna die. There's a Wrath. That does put creatures in the yard. I'll take the land. I need land drops. What is this? Path? That's fine. They do have their land now. I don't think they're gonna time out. They're not taking that long to play, and this game is not gonna go for that much longer. So I will need to just approach them twice. I will look at their list, see if they have. Okay, they actually haven't played this list before. I wonder if it's a net deck. This list has been played recently. I faced it once with Aristocrats. A deck like this without Yorion. They could have Nevermore. They can't have anything else to extract the approach. What is this? They flip it. There's nothing I can do about that. I will need to Wrath, I guess. Well, Trawler does stop this unless they have a path. Then it just doesn't. I can also Detention Sphere the Novice Inspectors, which stops them from. Okay, that's really annoying. I kind of can stop that. Could have actually de-sphered these earlier, and then I would have been able to Jace them out. Jace is actually so good against them. They actually can't kill the Jace. So, wait, what if they just flip the other one? That's kind of a problem, so I will just exile the Inspectors. Could exile the tokens so I could repeal it later, but I would rather not when they have 2 Emerias. They have a path, that's really annoying. So now if they flip Clay-Fired Bricks, they look like they have lethal, but I do have the Whale. They do kind of expect some kind of Condemn. I don't think timeout is ever an option here, because if I win a game, it's not going to take that long, I think. In fact, I don't think any game is going to go that long. Either I approach them on like turn 10, I mean, never that much later than that, or I die before then. Ideally, they flip those two, and then I can repeal D-Sphere. They don't have an Anthem. This backside is actually so good here. They don't want too many creatures because of Wrath. And this essentially means they have double the amount of creatures that they actually have. They're flipping it. So repeal would be great. Though I would be close to death. Because this is still 1 damage. And if they just have another one, then they can flip that immediately. What did they exile? Spring loaded? Or did they have an extra clue? Saw blades, it looks like. If I hit Novice, they have to draw it again, but they're kind of fine with drawing it again because it draws a card. So, good path. Stops me from getting whale. So I have to play a Trawler, I think. And even if I do, I die, I think. They hit Novice. So I need to Wrath. Which means I need to -2. That's not going to do anything. So if I Trawler, I block 1. They do a lot of damage. There's a Wrath. This is bad against Demiria, but I don't really have a choice. If they just somehow don't have Wrath. I mean, they've probably just been having a Wrath in hand all game. Since they have probably like 4 in the main. It's very unlikely that they don't, but I don't think there's any other way I win this game. Even if they don't have Wrath, I might just lose because they have more creatures than I have life gain. More power than I have life gain. They bounced, or they blinked the Cosmium Kiln. Are they looking for a Wrath? That is not a Wrath, I think. Maybe they want it to die. That would not be unreasonable. Okay, so they are playing Yorion in their Yorionless Emeria deck. I don't know why it isn't their companion. Why do they care about less? Like, do they really just not want to play less than 4 Emerias? I feel like 4 is 4 in an 80 card deck is plenty. I don't know. I guess there just aren't that many ETB creatures. So if you're playing Yorion, you kind of just sometimes don't have any. But you're not even playing Teleportation Circle, I think. So I can +1 and also draw a lot of cards. And maybe draw a Condemn or something. And I can counter things. They do flip a Kiln. I will just play this. Get Condemn, Colonnade. They probably do need to attack Jace. And Jace can survive. Okay, so they can't blink creatures. Unless they don't care about the attackers. And I don't want to blink this either, so did they actually just blink nothing? It might be the play. That is what they do. They return Yorion, I expect. No, because I want to attack with it, right? They could return Clayfired, and then replay it, and then flip it. I could say no, which I might do. No, They can do that. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter. They do only have 16 minutes, so if they end this game with like 14 minutes on clock, they could actually time out in the match. I would definitely have to win game 2. Or this game, but that's not going to happen. Path would actually be really good here for hitting Jorgen. They are just going to attack with it, I think. Are any of these on Jace? No. That is terrible. That does actual nothing. I am just dead. I guess I should have played out of air. Yeah, I didn't really count. I could have taken away a lot of time by countering that and then surviving another turn. Maybe finding a Wrath to survive another turn. I don't know. Anyway, they are really weak to approach. Basically, their out is clocking me, which I am okay at stopping. What do I actually care about countering? Do I care about countering anything? Jorgen? Is a Rune Halo good? I feel like no. If they're recurring something, it does help, but I don't expect to go that late with approach in my deck. I think this is fine. Okay, game 2. Good hand. Has search. So they have 15.5 minutes. Which means... I don't know what that means. Like how do I lose... Like if I win game 2 and they take like 7 minutes, how do I win game 3 on time? Like it's really only if I just can't approach somehow, like if I'm just wrathing and can never get the first approach down, I guess. I could condemn this. I don't like that. I wonder if I counter a Clay Fired Bricks. I think it's actually a kind of good play. Because I really want them to miss a land drop. They could have Path. That would be really bad for me. Like, the ramp is just... They really just want to get this active as soon as possible. I want to put something in the yard and find a land. It's not a land. Good. Okay, so I really just want to hit every land drop until my 7th. It's so bad if I can't cast Approach on turn 7. Because it essentially just means they have an entire extra turn to try to kill me. I can't counter that. So I have 3 draws to find a land. I have quite a few redraws as well. And I have like 27 lands if you count Timeless. I just want land, so I'll keep that instead of flipping Azcanta. Though flipping Azcanta could allow me to turn 6 approach. It is a really powerful play, but I don't really have the tools to get there. It's actually not possible right now. I might condemn a Spirited Companion to try to get there at some point. I will definitely counter that. Okay, that throws itself in the yard anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I yard it. And I have enough mana to just use this to deuce. So I don't need to find a land. It actually doesn't really do much. I will deduce here. If I don't find a land, I will condemn, I think. They could path this. That would be annoying. They could already have passed something, though. It doesn't really matter. That it's in response to something. Okay, so they do have the Nevermore. That's annoying. They actually waited until the perfect time, too. So if I did nothing there, I would have just been able to play my first approach, which would have just won me the game. Yeah, if I just did nothing there, I would have just won. Because if I got the... Like, it's mostly about getting the first approach down. The difficulty in that is... You might just lose because you tapped out, and your opponent now has a huge board of Emeria stuff. Because the second one, you just win, so it doesn't matter if they have a huge board after you cast it. So the fact that they stopped the first one, rather than playing Nevermore after the first one, is such a huge difference. They still have not missed a land drop. Heliod's, come on. It's not a Heliod's. That is a D-Sphere. Is that better than Repeal? Probably. No. I don't think it is. Because they probably have Enchantment Hate. If they have Heliod's in their deck, they definitely bring it in, and I think they definitely should have Heliod's in their deck. So they're gonna die, not next turn, but the turn after. So they're gonna die in turn 10, unless... Well, if I have to use Heliod's, maybe not. Okay, so they can return the Solemn Simulacrum right now. I will attempt to condemn this Guardian of Kirapur. The only better thing to condemn is pretty much exactly Oregon, maybe this card. So if I have to fight over Nevermore, then they actually could time out this game, or this match. Okay, I had to do that. If they had two unnamed Heliod's with the first one, they probably would have just won, because I have D-Sphere on the bottom, and my Repeal is gone. But that would lose to No More Lies. I mean, they should have attacked first, regardless. Not that it matters, since I can't counter that with anything. Not even Prohibit or Disdainful Stroke. They return... that. Okay, they have a second Emeria, but nothing in the yard. So I never Wrath here, I think. All it does is stop for damage and give them lands. In a card. Deduce. Try to find a Heliod's. So, it being in my hand doesn't change anything. I don't have discard. They could have Elite Spellbinder, that doesn't even do anything though. It only stalls the first one. They actually do have a Walker in their deck, and it creates double strikers, which I care about. I could counter this, but I don't. Heliod's is more important than countering this. Finding a Heliod's actually just wins the game if I find it off this. So yeah. They just create a 2/2 double striker every turn. But they don't have reach, I think. No flash creatures or anything. So I can just cast a Wrath every turn until I find Heliod's, and that just wins. So I will play Thassa's. I could save it for a bigger one, but I have Escanta, so I'm going to be able to use my mana regardless. So I find Approach and Heliod's, I would just win. Right? Did I count right? Now I have one more mana than I need. Okay. It's game 2. They're not going to timeout. So they do have the Nevermore. I have all my enchantment removal in. I could play No More Lies. I am not going to do that though. So I will just run it back. It's possible that they sided the Rads out, so I should play Trawler. Trawler isn't even that good against them because it kind of loses to Emeria plus a flyer. So it doesn't even necessarily win the game. It does stall for a while if they can't answer it because it gains life and forces them to block. It draws cards to get me to removal or approach. Great hand. It could die to attackers. So I would love to draw a Deduce. I would love to draw counter spells, I guess. Okay, there's Wrath. I would love if they got mana screwed. At least just one miss land drop this game. Before you have 7 planes. I will counter a Clayfired Bricks, I think. I will definitely counter that. That actually ramps them. I will play turn 4 Jace, and probably +1. If they play nothing, I will -2. They probably will play a creature here. They do, and it will kill Jace if I don't +1 uptick. I could hold that up, but I don't think that's a good play. -2 into Condemn would be good. I do need to find land drops, so I could sacrifice Jace for them. I don't love that, though. If they play 2 Clade-Fired Bricks, I don't think I even Desphere them. I do care about the Anthem now that I have Jace, but I just have to Desphere the Nevermore. Okay, they could -4 that. They could +1, but they should be afraid of Condemn. Actually, I think I will -2. I will take the 2. Condemn is probably the best card here. It's kind of close. That means they have Nevermore. That's fine. Like, they never do that unless they have Nevermore, I think. Maybe. Or they're just hoping to draw it. So I have 5 lands in play. I need to find 2 more in this game. I would love to fuel this dig. So they actually can't kill the Jace unless they sacrifice the Gideon. Which means I get to -2 again. Or try to survive it, have it survive for longer. They've still never missed a land drop despite never playing any kind of card draw or land tutor. Okay, there's my land. Nice. They put these two together. They never just give anything other than dig as the one. What? Okay. Like, they have to know how much I want lands here. So, I mean, dig definitely was the best card there. I think they kind of had to do that, but obviously they didn't know that I already had dig. And it's kind of hard to guess that because, like, it could be a 1-of in my deck. There's really no indication that it's in my hand, other than if I don't have many cards in the yard, it could be. Do I D-Sphere or the Gideon? No. Do I Wrath here? I don't hate that. Represent Condemn and Wrath? No, I like holding up counter. Actually, what do I do here? So, if I do nothing except pull up Absorb, they could put a pretty big board in play. That doesn't really stop me from Heliod's, though. I think I do just pass. Maybe I should play Deduce. Do I just discard it? Yes. Because I can just play the dig. I probably just go Absorb Dig. Okay, they don't -4 or +1. I mean, they have to be afraid of Condemn. I've only used one this game. I guess I might just use it if I Wrath. I mean, I definitely just play the approach here, and now they're kind of dead. I find Heliod's and another one, so they kind of just lose. So they have to play Nevermore and put a big board in play. And if they had Nevermore, they probably would have played it already. Right? So this is 11 damage. They probably have to hope that I don't have a second one in hand already. And just put a big board in play. Or they could play Nevermore. Elite Spellbinder would actually be really good here. What is this? Eternal Wanderer? Yorion? Okay. They blink nothing, so they're really just trying to put the biggest board in play possible and kill me as soon as possible. It is not going to work though. I mean, yeah, it does just lose to Wrath too. Okay, yeah. So game 1 is terrible, game 2 they just can't beat Wrath, or can't beat Approach. So I do think that's a favorite matchup. I do have to win 2 games, like they have 1 free game. But then I have to win mine twice, they only have to win theirs once. But I don't think, they do have to actually win on mine, while I don't have to win on theirs, and I think that's a bigger advantage because it's just so heavily favored for me in the post board. It's very similar to the Yorsov matchup, where they just have so much chances to Trawler game 1, and I can't really win it, but then I just win with Approach next game. Except they're worse against approach. So I am 3-1? Or is that 2-1? I'm 3-1 now, I believe. Okay, yes. So unless I miss breakers, which is possible, I have a terrible OMW. Then I make top 4. Okay, I'm recording this after the end of the tournament. I did not make top 4. I got 5th. I had worse breakers than a Roboton, who had the worst OMW and the only one with a lower OMW than me before. They ended up making it instead of me, and they won with this mono black Garuda deck. This list was the same as last time. I played one Trawler in the side over a Sarah Lane Drake because I think Trawler is better against Mono Red. And basically against decks like Mono Red and Aristocrats, I want the 4th Trawler because if I don't draw it, I kind of lose the matchup because my entire strategy is about resolving Trawler. I played that last time too, but I went 0-2. And maybe the tournament before. I think that's the only really new card. I'm playing 1 Fumigate, 3 Wrath. I cut the Study because it doesn't do much, I think, and I want another basic to beat Pop. Alright, that's the tournament. Could have definitely done better, but 3-1 is pretty good. I went 0-2 last time and a bye, so it's a lot better than that.